Hi, my name is Sacha and today we'll talk, see and play the Deluxe Big Muff by the Electro Harmonix. Yes, I'm talking about the vintage one, not the reissue, which by the way is a completely different pedal, so it's another story. I did my research on the interweb about the Deluxe Big Muff, but I didn't find too much information about that. So usually I talk about the history of the pedal, but I don't have much to say about that. It was put on the market around 1978 and I think until Electro Harmonix did bankrupt, so 1984. So why Deluxe Big Muff? What's the difference between a classic one and the deluxe one? Basically, it has a compressor inside. First runs had a Soul Preacher compressor inside, then they switched to another circuit, so it was not the Soul Preacher anymore, was something like, but not exactly the Soul Preacher. We get two Deluxe Big Muff versions. First one had the blend switch, which enables or disables the compressor unit inside the pedal, and the second one has a parallel series switch, and that's the one I own, this one. First version with the blend switch was sold at $89. The parallel series switch was sold at $130, which were a lot of money in the late 70s, early 80s. When the Deluxe Big Muff came out, Big Muff already was a big deal, was pretty famous, and they just put out the Big Muff PI version, which I think you saw it because it's the most famous version. The enclosure and the design was the one used for the reissues in the late 90s, early 2000s. I could talk a lot about the Big Muff, but I think that I will do it in a separate video. One thing you have to know about the Deluxe Big Muff is that doesn't have transistors in it, it has op amps, just like the Big Muff PI, but not all the versions of Big Muff PI. Let's say most of them has op amps in it. So the Deluxe Big Muff has a completely different circuit compared to the older one, the Triangle, for example, of the Ram's Head. It's another story. There are transistors over there and here we have op amps. But if you are a Big Muff aficionado like me, it's interesting to hear how does it sound with the op amps and how does it sound with the transistors. So since I couldn't find anyone explaining how does it work exactly, parallel mode, series mode, blend out, comp out, I will do it for you, you're a lucky one. So let's go down to the table and have a closer look at the Deluxe Big Muff and I show you how does it work. Okay, as I said, this is the parallel series version. What we got here? The switch, which by the way is not a true bypass, it's just a bypass. Then we got the power on off that just switches on and off your pedal. Then we got the LED. Mine should be green because this is the second version of the Deluxe Big Muff, but it's still red like the first version, so I think it's like a transition model. Then we got the input, which by the way is self-explanatory, and then we got two outputs, the comp out and the blend out, and then we got the parallel series switch, which changes the way the Big Muff and the compressors interact. This is the Big Muff section. It's quite simple. It's the same old three knobs Big Muff. So you got the fuzz volume, you got the tone. If you turn it counterclockwise, you'll have a darker tone. And if you turn it clockwise, you'll have a brighter one. And then we got the sustain, which increases the amount of gain. The compressor section has two knobs. One is the compressor volume, and the other one is the threshold, which select when the compressor engages. In the parallel mode, the Big Muff and the compressor are independent. What does that mean? That in the blend out you have your Big Muff going on, and if you put, for example, the fuzz volume at 0, you'll not have the Big Muff signal going out from the blend out, and you just have the compressor output, which will not be distorted even if you get the sustain at 10. If you put your fuzz volume full and the compressor volume at 0, you'll just have the Big Muff going on out of the blend output. If you raise the compressor volume, you'll have a clean compressed signal and the Big Muff output. So you have two signals, one clean and one distorted. If you switch to the series mode, you'll have your signal that first comes through the Big Muff section and then will pass through your compressor section. And you have just one signal out of the blend out, and it will be Big Muff plus the compressor. For example, if you put the fuzz volume at 0 and the compressor volume at 10, nothing will come out of your blend output. And it's the same if you put your fuzz volume at 10 and the compressor volume at 0. Nothing will come out because the signal will pass through the compressor volume. So what about the compressor output? In any mode, and even if the Deluxe Big Muff is disengaged, you'll have your signal coming out first passing through the compressor section. So even if you just switched off your pedal, out of this you have your signal compressed. And this happens in the series mode and in the parallel mode, so both modes. So stop chit chat. Now it's time to let you hear how does the Deluxe Big Muff sounds. Let's play some music. I like the Big Muff Deluxe because it has a chord, and every pedal that has a chord is a nonsense to me, and that's why I like it. And sincerely, I don't know why it's not that much appreciated like all the Big Muff versions, at least the old ones, the vintage ones. There are so few informations about the Deluxe Big Muff that I felt that I really should do this video for all the people interested to the Electro Harmonix history, and especially this particular dark mysterious pedal. There are not many alternate versions of the Deluxe Big Muff. I found a black face one with the black painting on the top, and that's it. Another thing, I saw some posts on the interweb with people that have the parallel series version just as me, and they claim they have a 1978 version. So I don't know if it's true, but it's worth mentioning it. What I'm pretty sure is that for a short period, maybe a couple of years or maybe more, there will be available on the market the parallel series version and the blend version, both of them. But I'm 100% sure that the blend version was the first one. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you like it, please like and subscribe to my new channel. I'm happy to run this channel, and see you next time for another pedal or something like that. Ciao.